All right, Warriors, Patriots, and Preppers. Today is April 15th, 2020. Normally would be tax day, right? Well, we got a little bit of a reprieve from our taxes and we don't have to turn them in now. And it's kind of funny that today would be tax day normally because today's the day that my stimulus check hit. I'm actually surprised that I was in the first round of stimulus checks considering my income level. I thought I was going to be in the later round. So maybe some of that news and information that was out there initially was fake news. So don't know what I'm going to do with the stimulus check at this point. I'm basically going to just pay what I need to pay, wait on paying other things, and see how this whole situation pans out. I'm looking at about a 75% pay cut based on the jobs that are available versus what jobs I could practically go and get. So just gonna have to tough that out and figure it out as I go. What I have right here is kind of some headlines and some news articles that I wanted to talk about and go over. Now, a lot of this is just for myself, and if you guys find some value in this and you find some information in this that you could latch onto and you think is important, then awesome. Really, I'm just kind of cataloging this for my own mindset, my own ability to go back and remember what was going on. I journal a little bit, but this is more of a video journal. So barring the internet completely going down, I feel like I'll have a little bit more information here than I will just in my normal journals. Now, I do print out headlines and articles and keep those in a stack. Kind of crazy, I'm sure, but I want to be able to have certain little demarcation zones and demarcation points throughout our history and our news media about what was going on at the time in case I need to go back and explain to people how we got where we were. One of the things they're talking about right now is a bill that would give Americans $2,000 a month during the pandemic. So what does that mean? Because they're talking about anywhere from 18 months to another 3 months. So, $2,000 is not a whole lot to me. It doesn't solve any of my problems. So, I can't get really excited about that. I know people from a message I got today that were making $650 every 2 weeks, who through their unemployment stimulus and bonus money that they're going to get are making $1,750 every 2 weeks now. So to them, this is pretty exciting. This is awesome. I no wonder people on average, another one of these headlines here, are spending up to 8 hours a day streaming videos and on Netflix and Disney Plus. I personally am not. I'm a little bit more worried and a little bit more anxious about what I need to do for work and how I'm going to go back and maintain any sort of livelihood that I've built up for myself over the last 4 or 5 years since I moved out here to Texas. So a lot of variables out there. You're also starting to see a lot of pushback right now. In Michigan, the protesters clogged streets in Michigan over stay-at-home orders. That Michigan governor, the stuff that she's imposed and the stuff that she's talked about is insane to me. I can't believe that she had the cojones to come out there and say what she said and did what she's done. And if you're not familiar with it, you need to go look it up and you need to check it out and you need to look into who she is and all the people that she's tied into and all the people that she's associated with. Because there's bigger things at play here. A lot of people talk about a pandemic. I 100% think it's that. 100% think that this movie right here is going into act. I think it's the end game. They pulled it off. They wanted Hillary in charge. They're too afraid of Trump being in charge for another 4 years. So they're going ahead. They pulled that lever. They're cashing in. They want to do it now. My mission was Mission 2024 because I thought they would do it at the end of the Trump administration. They've obviously decided just to go ahead and do it now. So what can you do, right? Como to order all to wear masks. Before the making of this video, I saw Angry Prepper. You may know him from Instagram, from YouTube, and from, of course, Doomsday Preppers. He made a post about this. It's in effect. It went down. It's happening. Other headlines here that I think are important. Spread to humans by dog, not bats. So they're starting to look into that. Google and Apple tracing could turn sick into pariahs. So you're seeing a lot of Google tracking. They're going to be doxing who the sick people are and who they are and if they've been infected, and letting you know that this person has been infected and that you may not want to be around them. New age of digital surveillance. That's what we're looking at too. UV light may protect. Canadian Prepper did a great video on that. I think that's something that we should all look more into, something I want to look more into myself. Feds warn worsening economy. I think that's what's going to happen. I think in the long term, this economy is going to tank. You're looking at Great Depression 2.0. And on a whole nother scale, because the average man, woman, and child cannot fend for themselves. They're not producing any sort of food for themselves. They're completely reliant on some form of dependency from either governments or from their work that's not going to exist anymore. You've already seen that roll out with the huge line at food banks in week 2. Week 2, national lockdown, food banks being overwhelmed. So a lot to think about, a lot to prepare for. End of cash. That's been the globalist goal for a long time. Jimmy Carter lashes out at Trump. I don't know too much about that. I haven't looked into that. But those are just some of the top headlines you're seeing here. Also, health department must provide all COVID-19 patients' names to the police. So you will be tracked. You will be known. Your information will be given up. Is that going to deter people who think they're sick from going to the doctors, from going and getting the help they may or may not need? From a lot of what I hear, some of these cases are mild for people who are in my age demographic. So if I feel like it's a normal cold, a cold I've experienced before, the first thing in my mind is not going to be COVID-19. It's not going to be to go out and to go get tested for. It's going to be to stay at home, isolate myself from everybody else, and see if I can make it through it. And I ended up getting one of those oxygen sensors on Amazon. They're still available. The price has gone up way through the roof a little, but I think if this is a situation you're faced with, it's going to be affordable. So that's something else to consider if they're doxing you to the police, your medical history. I can imagine in any circumstance where that would be okay prior to this whole outbreak. Foot sores could be an early sign. Frostbite symptoms. Ravaginous lungs also affects brain. So those are some more of the symptoms that you need to look out for as we go into this COVID-19, as they learn a little bit more about it. One of the other things I saw in the news today is a possible nuclear test by China. And I think that's the end game for this whole thing, is World War III with China. They wanted to do it with the deep state in charge so we could capitulate and end up going under China control. A lot of the leftist news publications way prior to this were talking about the coming age of China, China the next frontier, China the global superpower, all that type of stuff. This is their plan, is to have the totalitarian regime of China in charge with a fake kind of pseudo democracy and a pseudo free market economy and a pseudo capitalist economy. But when really, in reality, it's all controlled by the state. And really, you look around right now, are we not in that already? Are we maybe not here already? How they rolled out so much of this stuff in such a short notice is proof of the plan. Okay, that's all you need to know. The way that they had these online conferencing ready, online schooling ready, automation, getting the food directly delivered to you. It's been a slow build up to this. This is the plan. This is the long-term goal, is to keep us into our house, to tamper down the economy, and things like the protests clogging the street in Michigan is going to be what frees us from this, is what's going to be that ultimately ends up getting us out of this bondage that the left and that the New World Order is trying to put us under. I plan on attending the rally in Texas here that's coming up on this Saturday. I'm making every plan I can to be there, and I want to be there. It's a little bit dependent on my back health, hurt my back working out. If I feel good, if I feel up to going, I'm 100% going to go. But I think if you're physically able to, you're financially able to, and you have enough free time to do it, if there's any sort of rally going on in your area, you need to be there. You need to let your voice be heard, not only to let the power elite understand what they're up against, but to also signal to this current administration that this is what the American population wants. This is what the American people want. We want to go back to work. We want to open up this economy, and we want to be free. We don't want to be slaves. So until then, guys, warriors, patriots, and preppers, stay prepared. Continue to be a patriot. Let's go.